This is ABC7 News at 5. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for being with us tonight.
Today, the nation honors the late Martin Luther King Jr.
The civil rights icon would have been 89 years old today, if he was still alive, of course. MLK Day is celebrated on the third Monday in January, and this year it falls on his actual birthday, the 15th of the month. The first national MLK holiday was observed back in 1986. Government offices and the U.S. stock market were closed today. President Trump encouraging Americans to observe the federal holiday by doing acts of civic work and community service. King was assassinated in April of 1968, and this year marks the 50th anniversary of his murder. And as the nation took time to remember the life and legacy of the civil rights leader, the activities began early in Sarasota.
That's right. It started with the annual community MLK breakfast in the Newtown community, a walk, and then a celebration. ABC7's Dwayne Lindo attended all the events and is here to tell us more. Dwayne?
Well, guys, these events are rich and run deep in Sarasota's history. To put it in perspective, this is the 37th year of the Martin Luther King Jr. celebration here on the Suncoast. And the focus this year, bridging the gap for all the area's communities. Hundreds of people packed to the Robert L. Taylor complex to listen to music, eat breakfast, and more importantly, focus on Dr. King's vision. Longtime Newtown resident and event organizer Jetson Grimes says he plans on doing just that.
It's very important to bring all communities together, the Jewish community, the gay community, the Hispanic community, the black community, in solidarity. So that's why we're here this year.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Following the breakfast, the group took to the streets for a 1-mile unity walk from the Robert L. Taylor complex, led by Sarasota Mayor Shelley Freeland Eddy and Commissioner Jennifer Ahern Koch. For Sarasota's first African-American mayor, Fred Atkins, this walk signifies expectation and achievement.
We continue to rally and motivate this silent majority out here, is just sitting and watching things regress in basically our human and civil rights.
The walk ended at MLK Park with an all-day block party, emceed by ABC7's morning reporter Marla Spence. Attendees not only celebrated, but also looked to the future.
The meaning was very powerful that we all can work together to help one another, and there is no division.
Events like this gives us the opportunity to pass down to our children the significance of Martin Luther King Jr. and what he did historically, and be able to remember it as a community.
One of the event attendees agrees, saying King's words and legacy will transcend generations.
And to remember his work, his life, right? Remember his words, but then also to acknowledge that we've come so far, but there's so much more that we need to do.
The last of today's events will be at 6:30 p.m. at Booker High School as the West Coast Black Theater Troupe honors Martin Luther King Jr. Should be a great show. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Dwayne. Sarasota County officials are keeping cold weather shelters open for those in need. They include the Salvation Army on 10th Street in Sarasota, Grace United Methodist Church on Eastfield Avenue in Venice, and New Hope Community Church on South Biscayne Drive in Northport. In Manatee County, the Salvation Army shelter is also open on 14th Street West in Bradenton.
Well, certainly a bit of a colder morning, but it warmed up throughout the day, which was nice for those maybe giving back through community service for MLK Day. Let's check in with Bob Harrigan.
Finally some sunshine, lots of sunshine around, and temperatures responding to that sunshine. We had less wind today, so that was a good sign, and temperatures did get up into the upper 60s to low 70s. This is looking out toward the Gulf of Mexico. You see some high clouds streaming in overhead. Those are going to help us stay even a little warmer tonight, so it won't be as chilly of a start tomorrow morning. But it's not going to be above average. We'll see temperatures dropping basically into the upper 40s for overnight readings tonight. There is another cold front on the way. This next one is going to cause all sorts of headaches again over the deep south due to snowfall. We're going to get snow as far south as the panhandle of Florida, looks like. High pressure dominating our weather right now with that north to northeasterly wind around that, keeping things cool across the state right now. And 59 degrees in Tallahassee, 48 in Jacksonville, 60 now in Orlando. Typically our temperatures into the low 70s for highs this time of year, and we got close to that today, 73 now in Miami. There are a few showers along the East Coast, not much going on here at all. Things are quiet in terms of rainfall. It's going to be a rain-free front too, it looks like, that moves through on Wednesday. We'll talk about that front and what it means for our temperatures coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Manatee County Sheriff's detectives are trying to figure out who killed a man and then left his body in Bradenton. A nearby worker discovered the body this morning along 26th Avenue East, about 30 yards south of the road. The victim is identified as 41-year-old Michael Angelo Jacoby Grantley. Investigators have not yet revealed the cause of death, and they are treating this case as a murder and are still trying to gather additional details in the case.
Sarasota teen Jabez Spann has been missing since September. Both the police and community have spent countless hours looking for Jabez Spann, but there have been few leads. And as more time passes, the less we hear any updates on the missing teen.
There's no giving up on this, and it's not going to go away, and it's not going to stop.
We love that little boy, and we love him to death. And every day that we don't find him, we suffer.
Coming up tonight on ABC7 at 7, we'll find out if there are any new leads and what can be done to help find that missing teenager.
Now to the Florida Nature Coast north of Tampa, and the trip on board a casino shuttle boat that erupted in flames. 50 people on board looking to enjoy a night of fun and instead forced to jump into the cold Gulf Coast waters and fight for their lives. One female passenger died following the fire. ABC's Mark Remillard has more on the harrowing moments caught on tape.
A boat bursting into flames with dozens on board.
People started jumping out one by one, and the fire got really quick, really fast.
Witnesses describing panic as the boat crumpled amidst the inferno.
In a matter of 4 minutes, the whole boat was gone, like in flames.
The boat en route to a casino Sunday 3 miles away in international waters when the captain noticed smoke coming from the engine room. He immediately turned back, getting the vessel as close to shore as he could.
They directed all of us to jump, so from the front of the boat.
The waters cold enough to cause hypothermia, and though the boat was close to shore, passenger safety wasn't guaranteed.
I have to praise the boat captain for getting that boat in so close that when they got in the water, they had a very short distance to walk.
First responders swimming into the water while on land, neighbors assisting any way they could.
They were bringing blankets and sheets and jackets and whatnot to try to get these people warm because they were fully submerged in water.
15 people taken to the hospital, none with life-threatening injuries. One passenger had gone home after the fire but became ill and died several hours later. The casino company says it never had a problem with the shuttle boat prior to the incident. Mark Remillard, ABC News, New York.
Florida lawmakers will head back to Tallahassee this week to tackle one of the biggest issues facing the state, and that's the opioid epidemic. This week, the state Senate will begin considering a bill that would limit opioid prescriptions to a 3-day supply or a 7-day supply in cases of severe pain. Doctors would also be required to check patients' prescription records before giving them more, and they'd have to take continuing education courses on prescribing opioids.
Most physicians, during their training to become a doctor, only get about 2 hours of training on addictive disorders. So they have limited to no knowledge about the disease. It's very intimidating. It's a population of patients that can be very frustrating and scary, and they really aren't as equipped as most people would believe they are to deal with this disease.
All medical professionals would have to check a state prescription drug database to see patients' histories before writing a prescription, and pharmacists would have to verify a patient's identity before issuing them those opioids. Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, the Midwest and Great Lakes dealing with cold temperatures, snow and ice. We'll talk about why it's causing problems for drivers.
And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast. Plus, the Centers for Disease Control set to discuss how to handle a nuclear disaster this week, but a current health issue is at the front of their minds. We'll have more on those stories when we return.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Winter White event, save up to 15% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
My name is Stefan Campagna. We're Bang Gates & Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured in an accident, whether or not it's your fault, your insurance company might be responsible for some of your expenses. So give us a call. We've got your back.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View. The huge Consumer Electronics Show isn't just for people. I'm Stephanie Roberts. On Suncoast View, we check in with our pet tech expert to find out about the new pet tech gadgets. Flu season is in full swing and it is a bad one. We have tips to keep you healthy when everyone around you is sniffling and sneezing. Plus, a traveling Englewood circus brings us Lady Elastic and Whole Foods Market in the kitchen. Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Winter White event, save up to 15% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Now to the snow, ice, and cold moving across the Midwest this morning and into the Northeast as ice jams create some major problems, flooding rivers and towns. ABC's Maggie Rulli has more from New York.
Snow, ice, and wind chill alerts are underway from the Dakotas to Texas and all the way up the East Coast.
That's how thick they are. That's something else.
In the Northeast, massive clusters of frozen river are piling up along bridges, across roadways, and even swallowing up parking lots.
I saw it happen, that a wave of water came in and just surrounded the cars.
A short-lived thaw followed by heavy rain creates these ice jams and leads to frozen flooding.
This is just absolutely insane.
In Maine, the Kennebec and Saco rivers jumped their banks.
I've never seen the water that high on it.
The town of Kent, Connecticut, frozen over. And in Pittsburgh,
I thought I'd be able to go through. I was going fine.
This man attempted to drive through a flooded road.
Guys, when you see a lot of water, do not go through it.
And another winter storm is already marching across the country. The Midwest now dealing with snow and dangerous driving conditions.
A little shaky out there, especially the bridges and the overpasses.
The storm's expected to bring a swath of snow that stretches from Louisiana to the Ohio Valley, eventually slamming into the East Coast. And the cold is only just beginning. Right behind this winter storm is another blast of Arctic air that's expected to stick with us through the rest of the week. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
So we don't have that much to complain about, do we?
Not really. After looking at that, pretty incredible. She didn't mention that the snow is going to get as far south as Alabama and even the panhandle of Florida. And it looks as though we're not going to see any snow here, but it's going to get darn right cold to start things off, especially on Thursday morning. Okay. We are expecting to see wind chills again into the low 30s, even some upper 20s to start things off there. Yes, we're not over with that cold yet. Either. That way is a webcam. Let's show the sunshine and beautiful conditions here. As you can see, some high cirrus clouds moving overhead after a pretty cold start. And it looks as though we will continue to see Beautiful sunset tonight under mostly fair skies, but it will be cool. So if you're going to be checking the sunset out, make sure you have your jacket and sweater. Here's the weather headlines as they read: a near normal Tuesday. We're going to get back into the low 70s in some places. We'll still see some upper 60s near the beaches, and then it looks like another cold front due to arrive on Wednesday afternoon. This next front is going to be a dry cold front at that. Wind chill advisories will be issued for Wednesday night and Thursday morning. We're talking wind chill right around 30 degrees for most areas on Thursday morning. Here's a look now what's going on. We have this high-level cirrus cloudiness moving associated with the subtropical jet right now. You can see we're getting some of that. Most of it's down to our south right now. High pressure continues to dominate the weather over much of the mid-Atlantic coast states. Here's the cold front now. As this high pressure gives way, it will push off to the east. We'll start to warm up just a little bit tomorrow. As I mentioned, near 70 degrees, and then things start to change a little bit as that front approaches. Now, the Titan radar picture depicting just a few light rain showers along the east coast. Nothing going on here, and it will stay dry. I mentioned this next cold front. It too will be a dry cold front, meaning that we're not going to see any moisture with it, which is sometimes a little bit unusual. We have had fronts move through that usually produce clouds and showers, but just not enough moisture to work with to do that. A little bit warmer tonight. Currently 67 degrees. We have clear skies, and the dew point is at 47. That number's come up, and winds out of the north at 13. Pressure is way up there, 30-26, and again, it looks as though we will continue to see generally dry conditions here. 48 degrees now in Jacksonville, it's 60 in Orlando, 73 in Miami now, in Tallahassee at 59 on the hourly forecast. Tomorrow, calling for finally back to 70. Should be a really a delightful afternoon with mostly sunny skies there, and temperatures on the chilly side to start things off. Well, as far as the futurecast goes, not much to show you on that. Just a few high clouds now and again moving overhead, but no real threat of any significant rainfall here. But we will see that front move through. It will produce a little bit of cloudiness, and then this is a 5 p.m. Wednesday. Then things really start to turn cold and windy behind the front come late Wednesday night and into Thursday morning. As far as temperatures go tonight, we'll see them dropping down into the upper 40s, and then warm up by 9 o'clock. We'll be back down to we'll be back up to the mid 50s. And then, as I mentioned, highs tomorrow will be topping out right around 70 degrees for most people. The satellite and radar picture nationally is showing that storm system getting its act together now, and it did produce some snowfall. This is snow that you're seeing right now into southern Indiana earlier, into Ohio near Toledo, and also near Columbus. Still snowing in western Pennsylvania near Pittsburgh, and also into southern Indiana. Some lake effect snows into western New York. And as far as the snow for deep south goes, we are counting on it. Not much in terms of accumulation, but it will happen, I think, in the panhandle of Florida, down near New Orleans, and also into Texas, near Houston. And accumulations could be rather high, especially into the Ohio Valley, stretching up to Vermont and New Hampshire. But no snow for us here, right here. But that deep, cold air continues to plunge southward. This is the high temperature map, and that should not read for Friday. That should read for Tuesday. 11 degrees on into Kansas. A windy start tomorrow for boaters. Northeast winds at 15. Those winds subsiding in the afternoon at 5 to 10 knots. A moderate chop on the bays and inland waters. And as far as the forecast goes, here's what's happening over the next 7 days. We'll see a 70-degree high Tuesday. The front arrives Wednesday afternoon. Still warm to mid-60s. Wind chill right around 30 degrees to start things off on Thursday morning. And then for the weekend, looking better. 74 for a high. And Sunday, a 20% chance for a shower with a high temperature slightly above average. That may be just all winter may be over after we get through Thursday. Back to you.
Okay, Bob, thanks so much. Let's check first alert traffic. There's a major crash in south of Venice on State Road 776 and Loyola Road. Officials there are responding to a trauma alert. One person is expected to be flown with a medical helicopter to a trauma center. That crash is causing some backup in that area, as you can see, for southbound drivers, and slow going a little bit as you head north past the scene as well. Jacqueline?
Thanks, Scott. And health news tonight. If you recently traveled through Chicago's O'Hare International Airport, you may have been exposed to the measles. Health officials say a passenger arriving on an international flight last Wednesday had a contagious case of measles. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention contacted those who sat next to the passenger on the flight, but officials say anybody who was in the airport last Wednesday between 6:30 a.m. and 1 o'clock on local time may have been exposed. Officials stress the risk of infection is low, especially for those vaccinated against measles. There is no risk for travelers who are not at O'Hare that day, but some are worried.
I'm definitely very concerned. I would be very worried if that was the case and I was here, especially being a new parent with this being our first daughter. So it's even more scary, but in general, absolutely terrified.
Officials say measles symptoms could come on as late as January 31st to anyone infected. Symptoms include rash, high fever, cough, runny nose, and red watery eyes. Measles can also cause such serious complications as pneumonia and swelling of the brain. A meeting by the CDC on preparing for a nuclear disaster is not happening tomorrow as originally expected. The CDC originally planned presentations on nuclear preparedness to take place on Tuesday at its Atlanta headquarters as part of a lecture series. The session was supposed to stream live to anybody who wanted to watch. The CDC's website now says Tuesday's lecture will be about the flu. There's no explanation that was given for the change. We will have more on the spike in flu cases coming up in our next half hour. The Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas has something for almost everyone, including people who want some help with their fitness goals. This is a 3D body scanner called Naked. It uses a high-tech scale and infrared light to create an accurate picture of your body in an app. The app can also give you all sorts of information like your body fat percentage, lean mass percentage, and weight. Several scans can be stored in the app, which will help you keep track of your fitness journey. Naked is still in the development phases, but you can pre-order it now for about $1,000. And some good news for President Trump. He saw his doctor just before his recent trip to Florida, and he says the president is in excellent health. In a statement released by the White House, Dr. Ronnie Jackson said President Trump's physical went exceptionally well. He plans to provide additional details at a White House briefing later this week. Coming up, an erupting volcano overseas, why nearby residents are on high alert as many evacuate their homes, and why one actor found himself joining a fan during her school's senior pictures.
Army National Guard soldiers serve to give back to their country and their community. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for benefits such as health and life insurance, education benefits, and retirement and VA home loan benefits. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Planning a Carnival Fantasy Cruise out of Mobile? Then check out the park and cruise packages at the luxurious Battle House and Renaissance Riverview Plaza hotels. Stay at the Battle House for $169 per night, or the Riverview Plaza for just $149 per night, and leave your car for the duration of your cruise. Includes transportation to and from the cruise terminal. If you're cruising out of Mobile, come stay with us. Call 1-800-MARRIOTT or visit Marriott.com now.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
The classic film Singing in the Rain is coming to the Players Center in a live stage show opening January 17th. All the dances and all the songs you've come to know and love, all a part of our Wild Broadway series. Get your tickets now for this limited run by calling the Players at 365-2494 or visit us online at theplayers.org. You too can be singing in the rain.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking an experienced broadcast engineer to provide technical support for all broadcast equipment. TV broadcast background required. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply.
The Philippines' most active volcano is erupting. Thousands of people on the island of Luzon have had to evacuate their homes. This time-lapse video shows the lava as it spews from the volcano called Mayon. The volcano began erupting earlier today. It continues to spew ash. The Philippines Volcanology Institute warns residents to not only beware of lava and ash, but also landslides and falling rocks.
Well, here's a sight you don't see every day. A driver crashed this car into the second floor of a building near Los Angeles over the weekend. Police say the car sped into a center median, went airborne, and then soared into the building. The driver later admitted to using narcotics, according to reports by the LA Times. Luckily, no one was seriously injured in that accident.
Panda twins Fu Feng and Fu Ban enjoying their first snowfall in the Vienna Zoo today. Footage released by the zoo showed the animals frolicking in the snow and climbing trees. They were joined by their mother, Yang Yang. Pandas are thought to originate from the mountains and forests of southeast China, so they are well adapted to these freezing conditions. Check out this photo sent in from South Dakota. What you're seeing is a frozen waterfall at a park in Sioux Falls. This isn't a rare occurrence. It basically happens almost every year, according to TripAdvisor. It happens when temperatures, of course, drop below zero and stay there for a while. And this actually brings in more tourists to that area, so it's a good thing.
The sheriff from Stranger Things doesn't just know how to dance, he also knows how to take an epic picture. A fan tweeted David Harbour, better known as Sheriff Hopper, asking him to take senior pictures with her. He agreed, but only if he could wear a school sweatshirt and hold a trombone. The request then went viral, and these pictures became a reality. That is one way to go out with a bang on your senior pictures. And you know,
awesome.
It's funny, if you've ever seen Stranger Things, they also, on Netflix, if you're feeling like binge watching anything, it's called Beyond Stranger Things, and it gives an insight behind the scenes of what all happened. It's pretty entertaining. That's my new show.
Sometimes. You're figuring out the pieces of the puzzle as they tell you.
Yeah, it's very confusing, but it is a good show.
Yeah.
Well, still to come on your Suncoast News, the Wildlife Center of Venice gets a new home. Why its new location is just a few feet away from the old site and how it will help recovering animals.
And Hawaii still dealing with the aftermath of a false missile alert. The Hawaii Emergency Management Agency taking action against the person responsible for sending out that alarm.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Winter White event, save up to 15% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Florida Studio Theater presents the 8-time Tony Award winner Once, held over by popular demand. Captivating and breathtaking, Once is an unforgettable story about going for your dreams and the power of music to connect us all. Critics are calling Once engaging and heartwarming, outstanding, and a flawless production. Audiences are calling it phenomenal and better than Broadway. Once must close January 19th. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Everybody can make something.
because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View. The huge Consumer Electronics Show isn't just for people. I'm Stephanie Roberts. On Suncoast View, we check in with our pet tech expert to find out about the new pet tech gadgets. Flu season is in full swing, and it is a bad one. We have tips to keep you healthy when everyone around you is sniffling and sneezing. Plus, a traveling Englewood circus brings us Lady Elastic and Whole Foods Market in the kitchen. Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Winter White event, save up to 15% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.